Hey everyone, today we're going to pull back the curtain on a really powerful psychological trick. It's something that quietly influences what you buy, what you watch, maybe even who you date. It's called the decoy effect, and I promise, once you get it, you are going to start seeing it absolutely everywhere. So let's start with a big question. Are your choices really your own? I mean, we all like to think we're in the driver's seat, right? That we're in complete control of our decisions. But what if the choices you're being given are actually designed to lead you down a very specific path? Okay, let's dive right in with a classic example. Picture this. You're at the movies, you walk up to the concession stand, and you see this pricing for popcorn. The small is $3, the large is $7. Fine. But look at that medium. It's $6.50. Why on earth would anyone buy the medium when for just 50 cents more you can get the large? It feels like a typo, doesn't it?
Well, here's the twist. It's not a mistake at all. That weird price is actually a deliberate and, frankly, an incredibly effective strategy. It's designed to make you feel like you're getting an offer you just can't refuse.
See, that medium popcorn isn't really meant to be sold. Its entire job, its only purpose, is to make you feel like a genius for buying the large one. You probably walked in thinking, yeah, I'll just get a small. But you walk out with a large because you feel like you just hacked the system and got this amazing deal. Your choice has been, well, it's been architected.
So, how does this little magic trick work so well on our brains? I mean, we're smart people. To understand that, we need to break down the psychology behind what's really going on.
And here it is. This whole phenomenon has a name. The decoy effect. It's a cognitive bias where a third, pretty unappealing option, our friend, the medium popcorn, is put there specifically to change how you see the other two.
So every time this effect is in play, there are three key characters. First, you have the target. That's the option the seller wants you to buy, in this case, the pricey large popcorn. Then there's the competitor, which is the other original choice, the small popcorn. And finally, you have the decoy, the medium popcorn, which exists only to make the target look amazing by comparison.
Now, the technical term for why this works is asymmetric dominance. I know, it's a fancy phrase, but the idea is actually super simple. The decoy is asymmetrically dominated by the target. This just means the large popcorn is clearly better than the medium on both price and size. It's a total no-brainer. But comparing the medium to the small, that's a bit more complicated. Our brains love the easy win, so we latch onto the target.
And here's the real secret sauce. We humans are actually terrible at judging absolute value. Is a large popcorn really worth $7? I have no idea. But what we are fantastic at is making relative comparisons. Without the medium popcorn, choosing between small and large is kind of a tough trade-off. But the decoy gives us an easy comparison, large versus medium. The large is the obvious winner, and suddenly our decision feels simple, rational, and justified.
Now, this is not just about popcorn, not by a long shot. Once you know what you're looking for, you will start to see this tactic literally everywhere, used by some of the biggest and smartest companies in the world.
And maybe the most famous, most cited example of this comes from the behavioral economist Dan Ariely. He studied the subscription options for The Economist magazine, and what he found is just a perfect illustration of the decoy effect in action.
Okay, so originally, they offered two choices. You could get a web-only subscription for $59, or you could get a combination print and web subscription for $125. When people were given just these two options, most of them, 68% to be exact, chose the cheaper web-only version. Makes sense.
But then, The Economist did something fascinating. They introduced a third option, a print-only subscription for, get this, $125, the exact same price as the print and web combo. You see it, right? There's our decoy. Why would anyone pay the same price to get less? And the results were just stunning. With that useless decoy option in the mix, the number of people choosing the expensive print web package skyrocketed from 32% all the way up to 84%. And look at that, 0% chose the decoy. Nobody wanted it, but it dramatically changed everyone else's behavior.
Let's just put a hard number on that impact. That's a 163% increase in people choosing the most profitable option, all just by adding an offer that nobody actually wanted. That right there is the power of the decoy.
And trust me, companies have taken note. Apple does this all the time, pricing older phone models to make the newest ones seem like a way better value for just a little more money. Think about Starbucks. That grande size is often priced in a way that makes the venti seem like an absolute steal. And pretty much every software subscription service you've ever seen has a middle tier that's just designed to push you up to their most premium plan. So all of this brings us to a much bigger and kind of more complicated question. When does a clever marketing trick like this cross the line into outright manipulation? Because this really isn't just about pricing anymore.
This quote really gets to the heart of what's called the attention economy. For so many digital products, the goal isn't just to sell you something one time, it's to capture and hold your attention for as long as humanly possible. And the very same design principles are at play.
This whole field is part of something much bigger called choice architecture. It's all about designing the environments where we make decisions. Think about social media's infinite scroll, or how casinos are designed like labyrinths with no clocks. Even something as simple as Amazon's one-click checkout, they're all designed to guide our behavior, often in ways we don't even notice.
So where is that line? It often really comes down to intent. Is a company using choice architecture to help you make a better, healthier, or safer decision? Or is it just exploiting your brain's natural biases for its own profit? The ethics here can get really murky, and it's something we're all trying to navigate in this digital age.
But here's the good news. You can fight back against this. The next time you're faced with a choice, especially if you see 3 pricing tiers, just take a second and pause. First, look for the outlier, the option that just seems like a really bad deal. Bingo, that's almost certainly your decoy. Then, just mentally remove it from the equation. Now, compare the other 2 options based on what you actually need, not just on the deal the decoy created.
And that really brings us to our final thought for today. We always have the freedom to choose from the options on the menu in front of us, but it's worth asking ourselves, are we truly free from the menu itself? Understanding how that menu is constructed is really the first step toward making choices that are genuinely and truly our own.